Hello everyone and welcome to Legal English Lab. In today's video, we'll talk about sanctions, what they are, why countries use them, and how they work under international law. Let's start in simple legal English. What are sanctions and why do countries use them? Since 2022, Russia has faced some of the toughest sanctions in modern history. But what exactly are these measures? And how do they work under international law? A sanction is a legal penalty. It is used by one country or a group of countries to punish another state, company, or person that breaks international rules. Sanctions are non-military tools. They try to change behavior without using force. In simple words, a sanction is like saying, "You broke the rules, so we will stop doing business with you." After Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, many countries said this action violated the UN Charter and international law. The United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom, Canada, Japan, and others decided to respond with economic sanctions instead of direct military force. Their goal was to limit Russia's ability to finance the war and to pressure its government to stop the aggression. There are several main types of sanctions. Financial sanctions. Russian banks were blocked from the global SWIFT system. This means they cannot easily send or receive international payments. Asset freezes. Property and money of Russian officials and business people were frozen abroad. Trade restrictions. Many countries banned the export of high-tech goods to Russia and stopped buying Russian oil or gas. Travel bans. Some politicians and oligarchs cannot enter the EU or the US. These are called targeted sanctions because they aim at decision makers, not ordinary citizens. Who imposes sanctions? In international law, sanctions can come from the United Nations Security Council, global and legally binding, regional organizations, like the European Union, or individual states, like the United States or the United Kingdom. UN sanctions are based on Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, while national or EU sanctions depend on domestic laws and regulations. Sanctions raise legal debates. Are unilateral sanctions, those not approved by the UN, always legal? Some countries say yes, others say no. Another question, who suffers more, governments or civilians? In Russia's case, sanctions caused inflation, reduced imports, and affected global markets, but the government adapted by turning to Asia and developing its own systems. That's why many experts call sanctions a political tool, not a perfect legal remedy. Do sanctions work? Sanctions can be powerful, but their success depends on unity and time. When all major economies act together, sanctions can isolate a country, but when some states ignore them, the effect becomes weaker. Sanctions work best when they are combined with diplomacy and international cooperation. So, sanctions are legal tools that use money, trade, and politics instead of weapons. They can defend international law, but they can also create new problems. What do you think? Are sanctions against Russia effective or not? Leave your comment below and subscribe to Legal English Lab for more short lessons about law, war, and diplomacy in simple English. Now, let's quickly review some key vocabulary. Sanction, an official restriction or penalty. Asset freeze, blocking someone's property or bank account. SWIFT, the global banking communication system. Embargo, a total ban on trade with a country. Sovereignty, a state's independence and right to make its own laws. And finally, the UN Charter, the main document of international law on peace and security.